1, 2, 3, let's go.
Wednesday afternoon, hoping you will tune into our show.
It won't happen. I don't know whether you play golf, but if you overanalyze your golf swing, the best way to miss the ball when you take a swing on the tee is to overanalyze how you do a golf swing. You start, I've got to stand like that and hold the thing, and you'll end up missing the ball. But if you've done it before for a while, let your instincts, in other words, let the brain do it, because it knows it for you. Our brain is a brilliant servant to what we do, and it's so underestimated by us, this thing in our heads which lives in the dark. It's never seen daylight, but it enables us to have this incredible awareness, this incredible consciousness, when all it's made of is 3 pounds of blancmange or jelly-like substance, 80% water, 20% fat and protein, and yet that has everything: vision, hearing, memory, attraction, jealousy, planning, you name it. The brain does it all the time, 24/7. And we do take it so much for granted, and I guess we have to. But it comes down to that question. There's someone in my head, but it's not me. Is that someone in our heads? Is that really me? Is it taking the decisions that I feel I've made? Or are we really one and the same thing with our brain, or are we in a way two separate things? The final thing I would say on that, I don't know whether you've had a similar thing, probably not, but yeah. I've never liked heights. And one thing I've never liked doing, and I'm trying to think of an example, but going near to, it may be high up somewhere. For example, I've been on a cruise ship. If you go to the top, there's a relatively low, not fence, a barrier over which is 15 or 16 stories into the sea, and it's a bit like walking on a cliff top. For my part, I hate going anywhere near the edge of a cliff top, maybe for obvious reasons, it's heights and so on, and the same as on that cruise ship. But if I'm strictly honest, and it sounds crazy, but it sometimes has gone through my mind that if I get too close to the edge or too close to that barrier, or even walking across a motorway where the fence isn't very high, I don't often do that either, but sometimes the thought comes into my head, what if my brain took over and made me go and jump? Now, I mean, that sounds a crazy thing to admit, doesn't it? You think, well, what's the matter with you thinking like that, Trevor? Or cuz, bro, whatever. But yeah. Those thoughts, we all have crazy thoughts, I guess, sometimes. But I do have if I'm anywhere near an edge and it's a long way down, I do have that sense sometimes, oh, God, what if something acted outside of my control? And for me, that's almost an acknowledgement that there is something else, another power within us that we don't really control. We can't always control what comes out. Sometimes we can't control what comes out of our mouths, as you discover when you listen to me on here. But yeah, that thought has gone through my mind. So it begs the question, which we'll probably never have an answer to: are we, or am I and my brain one and the same thing? And it's a $64,000 question, isn't it?
Well, I think there's something they call in computer, they call it garbage in, garbage out. Right, so it's in computer.
Thank you very much. I love you too. No, I know what you mean. Yeah. I know what you mean.
And theoretically, I think that can be applied to our brains as well. So garbage in, garbage out is you don't get what you don't feed into the computer, basically. So if you've never saved a file in a computer, you're not going to get that file because it's not there. If somebody else hasn't,
the leader of our gang will make the show go with a bang and fund the aim of everything Custis, and fund the aim of everything Custis.
be applied to our brains as well. So garbage in, garbage out is you don't get what you don't feed into the computer, basically. So if you've never saved a file in a computer, you're not going to get that file because it's not there. If somebody else hasn't saved the file, you're not going to get it. So it's what you feed into the computer. It's what the programming language. I think it came out when they used to use programming languages to write stuff. And so that same concept can be applied to humans as well, because what you feed your brain. So for instance, if you watched a horror movie before going to bed, chances are, not always, but chances are you could have a nightmare. Sometimes I go to bed and I've watched an action movie and I see it playing out in my dreams and somebody chasing me, trying to take me out with an AK-47, and I'm thinking, what? I'm not even involved in crime. Why am I getting this? But it's what plays on the mind, isn't it? So if you feed the mind something constantly, like when I was I wasn't actually a kid. I think I was 18, and I used to watch a lot of these gangster movies, and at some point I found myself talking like that. I would say, you better have my money ready by tomorrow or else, and stuff like that. And people go, why are you talking?
That was your mum you were talking to.
And one of my friends, he picked me up on it. He said, what's wrong with you these days? I said, what do you mean? Because I didn't know I was doing it. I said, what do you mean? He said, you using these gangster words a lot. And I think, am I? He said, yeah. He said, the other day you said, oh yeah, I'm going to break your legs. And I thought, why are you talking like that? And yes. So it
I should be careful I'll be careful what I say to you in future, cuz. I'm a bit worried now.
Well, it's never going to happen because I then.
No, I mean, I take your point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. No, go on.
Yeah. It's never going to happen because I then when I acknowledge that it's acknowledge. When I acknowledge that I am actually acting out what I'm feeding my brain with, I then try to substitute it with, different, wholesome things like watching a comedy, having a laugh. And then I find that I try to tell a joke. I'm not very good at it. I don't try anymore, but but that happens. And just before I hand back to you, there's another thing that you said about the heart not being involved, or something like that.
Make the show go with a bang and fund the aim of everything customers. And fund the aim of everything customers.